I am so excited. My mom's internet is not that great, so please let me know if I'm going in and out. But I'm just so excited for this Zoom. I can't wait to hear from both of these girls. I know you guys are going to absolutely love this. I just wanted to kind of introduce myself because I know not just my team is on here. I'm Raven Tremblay, Diamond Leader, running after Double Diamond. And I'm just so excited to do this Zoom. I know so many new faces are on our team. And I just think that it's so important to kickstart your business, even whether you've been in for a couple days, been in for years, however long you've been in. Mindset is something that I feel like can always shift. And these ladies are absolutely incredible. I can be around them for 10 minutes and feel like a whole new person leaving. I went to conference over with them in Sarasota this weekend, and I feel like I left a whole new person. First in-person event I had with them, I've left a whole new person. So I'm really excited to hear from them. I'm so grateful for you guys saying yes to doing this Zoom with us. And so I am going to go ahead and jump right in. Did you guys want to kind of give a tidbit of who you are? I know most of us know who you are, but there are a lot of new faces.
Yeah, Adriana, you want to go first?
Yeah, so if you guys don't know me, my name is Adriana. I'm a presidential diamond. I've been in the business since 2015, so a really, really long time. Long story short, I did not start off the business right off the bat, hit the ground running. That wasn't me. I actually waited almost a year before I actually started really running with this business. And I like to tell people that because that's my biggest regret, was not starting sooner and not taking this business more seriously. There's a few new faces that I've seen on this chat already, and I already know like two girls that I'm looking at that are like new. So I just wanted to tell you guys that, because the biggest regret you will ever have is just not actually hitting the ground running, starting sooner. But anyways, long story short, I've been in this business. I think next year is going to be, I don't know, what, 9 or 10 years. That's crazy. And basically, long story short, I went to Presidential Diamond and I've completely changed my life. I quit going to college. I don't have a degree, and I actually make more now than I ever would have with my degree. I've been able to help my family. I just bought a new home, which I'm in right now. I've been able to buy actually two of my dream cars in the span of this business that I've been in. I've been able to give back to my church. And like I said, the biggest thing that I am the most grateful for is how I've been able to give back to my own family and my own mom and parents, people that have given to me my whole life. So to me, that was the biggest blessing. And still here all these years later, and all my best friends I've met through here, Raven, Haley, like Allison, everybody that's on this chat, I've known for so long, and they've just become such a close part of my family and just my circle. And we all help each other just get better every single day, and obviously make an amazing income while doing it. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Haley. Oh, sorry.
No, you're
I'm
totally
jumping the
fine.
gun.
Take it away,
I'm
Haley.
jumping the gun. I'm so sorry. Hi guys, I'm Haley. I interrupt people. No, I'm Haley. I've been in the business. I'm actually going on 6 years, literally in a month and a half, and that is so crazy to say that I will be in this business for 6 years because I still feel like I'm brand new sometimes. I love this business, guys. I started this business whenever I was going to graduate school, and I budgeted everything out for myself after graduating with a degree in chemistry, and I had a minor in theater and sociology and all these things. And if that doesn't tell you that I didn't know what I wanted to do, I don't know what will. And I literally budgeted out, and I had less than $100 a month for groceries. And I was like, this is not going to do. I need something different. So I sold my clothes to a consignment shop to get the $99 to get started. And it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. And guys, my life has completely changed from this business. You know, like, I have moved to Florida. I'm originally from Illinois. I went to school, University of Missouri, Mizzou, M-I-Z, if anybody's on here. But I literally went to grad school in Maryland and then found myself all the way to Florida. I've met my best friends through this business. I found Jesus and have a relationship with the Lord, that's the most important thing to me. And I've literally been, I feel like, just like a baby through this business. Like, I've gotten married, paid for my wedding and my honeymoon in cash, bought my first house, bought my dream car. Literally, I'm right across the street from Adriana. So living next door to my best friend, like literally living a life that I never ever thought was possible. And that's all thanks to God bringing this business in when I needed it most. And I was just looking for an extra $100 a month. So I want you guys to drop too. What did you join for? Like, obviously it's great to see all the big things that we've been able to do. You know, I've paid off over $75,000 in student loan debt. But the biggest thing is I'm my own boss. I'm able to pay my groceries. I'm able to pay my gas. I'm able to pay my bills. So I want you guys to drop in the chat. What did you join for? Like, what was the reason that you joined? Because I think that's the biggest thing that me and Adriana consistently come back to is, why did we join this business? What do we need this business for? And this is our income. Like, this is it for us. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be diving into that. And the biggest thing that keeps us going is that mindset. So I'm really glad. Thank you so much, Raven, for having us on. We're really honored and grateful to be here. And we're excited to dive into the questions. So lay them on us, girl. We're ready.
Yes. Okay. So first and foremost, I love all these whys. It is so important to remember your why and just keep pushing because of that. But we're just going to go right into it. And my first question is something that I feel like everyone can relate to. I know that I struggled with it a lot in the beginning of my business. And that's how to keep a positive mindset when you have like a negative household. I know so many people live in a house where maybe their spouse doesn't believe in them or their parents. And Haley, I know that that's part of your story. And so I just think that this is something that everyone can relate to no matter how long you've been in the business. So just how to keep a positive mindset when you have negativity around you.
Yeah, it's so funny that you remembered. I know that wasn't like a huge part of my story, but the fact that you even remembered and called on me, me and Adriana were talking, and I was like, I think I can take this question. So basically when I started, I didn't have anybody support me. I was supposed to go to grad school. Like I said, I actually didn't even finish. After a semester, I left because I started the business and I fell in love with what I was doing and found passion and purpose here. So I can tell you guys right now that if anybody understands what it's like not to have support, it's me. Because I had a couple people, like obviously like friends that would come over to my house and come over to my apartment and be like, hey, if you're going to talk about the products, if you're going to talk about your business, just let me know now so I can leave. Like, they would talk to me like that. I had family that would call me and be like, Haley, you're embarrassing us. Please take down your posts. Or I would literally bring like my products to like Thanksgiving and they're like, Haley, don't put that crap on our table. Like, I had a lot of really negative comments. I had a lot of people beat me down, tell me again, like, you're embarrassing us, take the post down, like all these things, like all in the very beginning of my business. And that went on, guys, that still goes on sometimes to this day. But I can tell you right now, that was really heavy in my first 2 to 3 years in this business. And I can tell you that honestly, what I personally did was remind myself every day that I was the one that was working for my future. You know, I was the one that was actually paving the way for my family. I was the one that was actually paying all my bills, and their opinions weren't paying them. And I feel like you guys have heard that before. If you haven't heard that before, trust me, you will. But the biggest thing that I always came back to is no matter what anybody thought, I truly felt like God had called me there. Before I even had a relationship with God, I just felt like there was this huge pull. Did you guys feel a pull towards the business? Like, that's how I felt. I was like, I could do this. Like, not because I had social media experience. Like, I had 80 followers on Instagram. I just started an Instagram 2 months before I started. Like, I literally didn't have any real friends like on Facebook. Like, they were all from my high school, people that talked to me in the hall or basically ignored me in the hall. I tried to talk to them, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I didn't have a huge social media presence. Like, I wasn't well known. I wasn't popular, but I felt a pull to work this business. I can tell you right now, that was the Lord. And he was pulling me to this business and the purpose that I would have here. And I didn't know that at the time, but something in me told me I could do this. And I know a lot of you are saying that you felt that too. So I'm here to tell you that literally that pull outweighed everybody else's opinions for me. Literally, it always brought me back to, I feel like I'm supposed to be here. Doesn't matter what anybody says. I know I can be successful because if this girl over here is working a full-time job and is a mom and she can be successful, why not a broke college student who now wants to do this full time? Like, why can't I do it? Right. I looked at everyone else, and instead of focusing on them and being like, oh, well, they can do it, I can't, I literally would always ask myself, why not me? And so the other thing that I was going to say that leads into that is praying, honestly, just getting so diligent about praying for a better circle. So even though it was my family and I love my family, I needed new people in my life that were going to breathe life over me, that were going to breathe life over my business. Literally, my husband would tell me, he's like, don't even answer the phone. Like, don't even go out of your way to call your family because you know they're just going to crap talk your business. Like, don't do that. And I was like, well, I need somebody. He's like, then you start praying for friends. Then you start praying for those people. Lo and behold, here I am, you know, a couple of years later, and I have the best circle of friends that not only speak life into my business, but my marriage, my life, like every single part of it. And I want to, you guys, I was reading James this morning and I wanted to read this to you guys. It literally says in James 4:2, yet you don't have what you want because you do not ask God for it. That is so huge. Like you guys have probably seen Matthew all the time, like seek and you will find, knock on the door the door will be open to you. But I'm here to tell you that it also says in James, you do not have it because you have not asked. And Adriana and I've been talking about that a lot lately. You don't ask because you didn't pray. You're not actually asking God for it. We both have diligently prayed for friends and found each other. Little did we know we were both praying for it on our separate times. But I'm here to tell you that what you ask for in faith and in prayer, God will give it to you in his timing, but he will give it to you. And I think just having that faith and creating those boundaries with those people who were negative was the best thing I could have done because it allowed for a space for people who were healthy for me to come into my life. So I hope that answered the question. I don't know if Adriana, if you wanted to add on to anything on that.
Yeah, I feel like I could kind of relate to it too. When I first started, the reason why I know I told you guys I didn't start till a year after, but the reason why is because I was with a boyfriend who was toxic at the time. And he basically would tell me, like, that doesn't work, like, that's stupid. You're not going to make money from that. Oh, other people are making money from that. You won't make money from it. I physically could not grow in that environment. And so, what I want to tell you guys is know the difference between like abuse and negativity. Like I was being abused mentally and verbally. So obviously, if you're with a boyfriend like that or with people like that in your life, know the difference. There's a difference between someone who's just a naysayer and a difference between someone that's hurting you and hurting your future and who you should not be around. But I think that everything Haley said was like on point, and you cannot grow in that environment. So I would just remove yourself from it. And also too, like if you have people, you're not doing anything wrong. Like you started a business and you're trying to make a better life for you and your family, as long as you're not doing something wrong or illegal or immoral, if someone has something bad to say about it, that's on them. And they probably are jealous that they don't have the guts to start a business, or they feel like they can't, or they don't want to see you grow or prosper. There's so many different reasons why people are nasty. But listen, whether you're doing this or anything else, people are going to be talking about you. So you might as well be doing something that's going to produce an income, produce your faith, produce friendships, produce like love and joy and happiness and fruitfulness in your life. And that can all come from this business.
Absolutely. I love that so much. And I think that's what's so special about like this company and honestly our team is that this team has given me the friendships that I've literally prayed for. These girls, if you need someone to hype you up, if you need someone who's going to believe in you and tell that you can do it, these are the girls that you want to be surrounding yourself with. I remember my first event with them. I looked at them and I was like, oh, what if I could quit my teaching job? And without even like a split second later, they were like, oh, you totally can. And guess what? 2 months later, I quit my teaching job and now I've been doing this full time for 2 years. So surrounding yourself with the right circle, praying for these people, these girls are literally everything I've prayed for. And this community is something that you can't find anywhere else. Okay, so next question. And I feel like, especially when you're starting your business, you're starting to onboard and bring in new girls, this can be something that can be challenging. And it's how to keep a good mindset when one of your new girls is negative. I feel like a lot of times you can come in, if you're not seeing results right away, you can start to lose your mindset easily. And that can play into your leadership mindset as well. So how do you keep a solid mindset when you have new girls coming in who have a negative mindset and haven't quite learned that yet?
You want me to start that one, Adriana, or you want to take that one?
Got it.
So I was going to say for me, whenever someone comes in with a negative mindset, I can't pour from an empty cup. I cannot actually fill someone up and raise them up and hype them up like Raven was just talking about if I am not filling myself. And I know you guys have probably heard that phrase. And I think I'm always going to come back to the fact that if things aren't going my way and I'm personally feeling negative, like I actually have to surrender all of that to the Lord. And I want you guys to know there's no hidden feelings from God. Like negativity that you might feel like in your business or in your life or your marriage, like you're never going to embarrass yourself. You're never going to shock God. Like he already knows every single little thing about your life. So if you ever feel like you don't know who to trust, like God is always the number one in your life that you can trust. And he will always pour back into you. That's the blessing of who God is, right? Because there might be people that you go to, right? Whenever you've got somebody negative on your team, and kind of like what Adriana was saying, then you go tell somebody else and you're venting. And what are they doing? Yeah, that girl sucks. Yeah, that's really hard. When in reality, maybe that girl is just going through a really hard time. And what she needs is a little bit of positivity in her life. Now, I'm not saying like give all of yourself to this girl if she's just truly draining you 24/7, getting like just fully just not really doing what she needs to do and then coming to you and complaining 24/7. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about the girl that's going through a hard time and maybe is having some negative thoughts and is voicing those to you and feels like she can. I think then is the best time when, again, you make sure that you're filled up first and you're going to the Lord and you're explaining to him everything that you're going through and how you feel, getting filled up by the Lord, getting filled up by the word, and then you're able to be better for others. Because every time I've tried to be there for someone else when I'm not fully there, I can't actually help them, right? And at that point, I think if you feel like you can't, you can guide them to God. That's our purpose, right? It's guiding each other home. That's the whole point that we're here. So I think the best thing that you can do is guide someone back to the Lord, guide someone to the word. And that doesn't mean just sending them a scripture. Like you can pray for them. You can obviously, suggest a sermon to them or a podcast that you might be listening to that really fills you up. And then that can really change everything for them. I mean, how many times have you guys listened to a sermon or a podcast and been like, wow, like this just changed everything for me. Like I want to be better even right this second. You know what I mean? So if you got a girl who's coming in who is new and it's got that negative mindset, I think the best thing that you can do is pour love and excitement and joy into them and remind them like they just joined. Like, you know what I'm saying? Get in their shoes and get to the point to where when you were new, what did you need to hear? Right? Telling them like, you're going to get that first sale. We're going to work closely together. Like, think it's definitely situational, but I hope that helped. Like, I think it's really just coming back to when you were a newbie and then also making sure that you're filled up before you go and just pour out yourself to someone. Cause like you said, the question was like, how do I do that without becoming negative myself? So Adriana, did you want to speak on that at all?
Yeah, I think I agreed with you when you said it's super situational. So I think in the aspect of someone's just joining and they're very new to this and they don't really understand how this works, I would definitely get on a voice memo and be like, hey, like, and relate to them. Actually, when I first started, I was really nervous too. I didn't know what I was doing. I had 100 followers on Instagram. Relate to them, try to talk them, walk them through it. But then the other situational thing is you just enrolled someone that's just one of those naysayers that we were just talking about. And that's the beauty of this business. You don't have to work with them if you don't want to. You know what I mean? So if you are working on yourself and you have a positive mindset and you are looking for other people that want to earn this income, I'm telling you right here, right now, there are people out there that need this. There are people out there that will run the second they sign up because their babies need to be fed. Their husbands are staying at home. They don't have a job. Like the list goes on and on. There are people that are positive out there and there are people that need this business. So just because you enroll one or two people that are negative, you do not have to hang on to them. You do not have to let them drain you. You know what I mean? The best part about this business is signing up someone who needs it and actually wants to hold your hand and run with you, and you guys help each other. So like I said, I do think it's situational. You could feel it out and see how someone is. But if someone just joined the business, like they should be excited. Like they just started a new opportunity that they're going to be able to make as much money as they feel like making. So I think that just trying to find more of those like-minded people, but also to remember you have to be that first. So if you feel like every single person you're enrolling is a naysayer, I would do some self reflection and be like, am I being negative? Am I speaking death over my business? Am I speaking death over myself? And that could be your answer.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so that leads me into a question because you guys kind of talked about it. For those, like I know when I first joined this business, I had no idea what people were talking about when they talked about self-development. I just wanted to touch on this real quick. If you guys had any like self-development that you think would really help either a newbie or someone who's been in the business with their mindset, if you had any good tips on that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, honestly, there's just, sorry, my phone just fell. That might have been really loud. Honestly, I would just say like my Bible is my biggest self-development tool that I could ever have in my entire life. So obviously that. And I would say for me, I always like the Joyce Meyer devotionals. I felt like when I was starting and I was new in my faith, those really pushed me to read the word. And so I would recommend those. And then there's also a book called The Prayer of Jabez. I'll write it down. But it really just put into perspective, getting comfortable with increasing my communication with God, and the blessings that he has for my life. And so I recommend those. Those are personally for me. And then I would say the last thing would be worship music. Like, gosh, I can't even explain how different my life is now that I have given up secular music and I only listen to worship music and people who are Christian artists. Like, I don't even have anything else on my phone. And that is because I was tempted to like listen to other things. And I noticed like all that did was keep me in my negative space. Like when I was already sad and I wanted to feel bad for myself, I was like, let me put on this really sad song so I can be in my feels. Like, I don't need to be in my feels. I need to get out of my feelings. Like, the heart is deceptive. You know what I mean? Like, I needed to get back to what God says about me. And a lot of that worship music is that. So those are my, that's like my tips for self-development.
Yeah, and if I could recommend one book, it would just be Power Words. It's like the only book that I've actually read in this business. I'm not a reader, but I would tell you guys, if you don't have Power Words, you should go buy it like tonight. I think it's only $10 on Amazon. But basically, it's just teaching you how to reprogram like your mind and your negative self-talk. Self-talks, I know that we all can get, like Haley said, in our feels and start being discouraged and talking badly to ourselves about ourselves and out loud. And this book just redirects you. And it's a type of book that you're going to read over and over again. So it's definitely worth it. I usually don't tell people to go buy something unless it's good. So definitely go buy that. Worship music, praying, talking to God. That is my time. And I don't miss it. I make it first priority every morning. I want God to be my priority before I even start my business. Put him first and he will take care of the rest. Also, too, if you guys don't know how to pray, or if you don't pray, or you don't speak with God in that way, the best advice that I can give you, someone told me this when I first came to the Lord, and it literally changed everything to me. And they were like, how would you talk to your earthly father? Like, you would have a conversation with him. You'd be like, hey, I had a bad day. Hey, I'm actually feeling like this. That's how God wants you to talk to him. He wants you to tell him exactly how you're feeling, even though he already knows. And you might think, that sounds silly. That's how you build a relationship. If me and Raven just started being friends today, how are we going to build our relationship? By communication, by speaking, by me telling her how I'm feeling, by her telling me how I'm feeling. And the more that you commune with him, the more that he will commune with you. So my best advice would be, if you don't talk to God like that, if you feel like it's weird, I would start in your car, start in your bedroom, just start speaking to him. Give him the first of your day before you reach for your phone. Get into the word and scripture before you do your business, before you start texting your girls back. And I promise you, it's going to change everything, not just for your business, but for your entire life.
I love that you mentioned putting it first because that goes back to what Haley said. You can't pour from an empty cup. If you're starting your day without filling your cup first, you're just going to be empty all day. And I've noticed that when I start my day with God, like my schedule, even though I have the same 24 hours just feels like everything goes in line. So I love that. Okay, so next question is about comparison. I feel like a lot of times when you come in, it can be easy to compare yourself. Oh, this person went and this rank in 30 days, and I can't even get my first distributor. Oh, this person went diamond in 3 months, and I'm sitting here at Ruby. So how do you deal, or how can you help someone who is constantly comparing themselves to other? What advice do you have for someone who's constantly comparing themselves to everyone that they see in our Black Diamond Team page?
You want me to go first, Haley?
Yeah, take it away, girl.
Okay, so first of all, comparison is not cute. Nobody wants to be doing it. We all have done it. Nobody has not done it. Everyone's done it. So there's no shame in it. But I do want to share with you guys the bad fruits of which comparison is what you're producing when you are doing that. And the bad fruits are envy, pride, ingratitude, competition, and being unloving towards others. Do any of those sound like something that you want to embody? Do any of those sound like a good leader? Do any of those sound like a diamond, double diamond, presidential diamond, ambassador diamond? Do any of those sound like that type of person? That's what you're doing. And so the reason why it's so ugly is because, and it's a thief of joy. It's a thief of joy. You want to make sure you're unhappy, start comparing yourself to someone. You want to make sure that you don't thrive in your business, start comparing yourself to someone in the business. Listen, the person that you're comparing yourself to is probably comparing themselves to someone else. And it's this vicious cycle. Like this person that you think is like amazing, they probably are doing the same thing. And they're probably just comparing themselves to the other person who they think is so amazing. And then the next person who they think is so amazing. And you want to know what that is? It's called an idol. And that's something that you put above God. And those are very dangerous. And obviously, our God is a jealous God. He doesn't want you putting anything above him. He doesn't want you making an idol of anything in your life. And when you compare yourself to someone else or someone else's journey, you're creating that idol in your life. And like I said, you're stealing your joy. You're being unloving towards others. You're being prideful. And it's just a whole like world when you don't want to put yourself in. And like I said, the second you should be self-aware that you're doing it. And like I said, there's no shame in it. I'm not shaming anybody. Everyone has done it. But I do think that you need to be aware of doing it because it will hinder your growth in your business. And listen, it's very easy these days with social media to compare because everybody's putting their best foot forward. Everyone's putting their Facetune pics up. Everyone's putting their perfect 365 pics up with their Lightroom and their edits, and nobody's got wrinkles and like, and so you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm this beast who's like not good at enrolling. And it's like, but it's funny, but it's like these are the things that you tell yourself, and then you live that way. And you want to know what else? You can't pour into other people because you feel terrible. You're not enrolling because you're negative. And it's just, it makes everything in your life bad. So if you are comparing yourself, I would, you know what I would tell you? I would say, if you want to do comparison, compare yourself to Jesus, compare yourself to the people in the Bible. Like read the stories and be like, hey, I want to be like them. Not I want to be like this girl with 1 million followers. No one cares about the followers. I'm sorry. That's not going to get you into heaven. Followers, schmollowers. Like I see girls on here that enroll a bunch of customers and they have less followers than most people. You know, it's not about that. It's about, don't say, oh, I can't enroll. I can't be a diamond because I don't have 20,000 followers. There's girls on our team that have 2,000 followers that are a diamond. You know what I mean? And so if there's bad fruits to that, then there's good fruits to comparing yourself to Christ. And those would be a correct self-image, humility, growth in holiness, loving others well, and being free. So all of those are things that I don't know about you guys, but I want to be like. And obviously it's a work in progress. We all are. But I think that's something to think about. It's something to meditate on and be aware that you're doing it and try to make the shift and the change. And then another thing too, if you actually want to set yourself free from this, what you need to do is be honest with yourself, be honest with God, bring it to God, be like, Lord, like I've been doing this, I've been prideful, I've been envious, I don't want to be like that. take it from me, I repent of it, and then start feeding yourself things that are going to nourish you. So the things that are going to nourish you is the word of God, worship music, and praying. Those that's the sauce. That's what everybody needs to be doing. You know what I mean? So think about those things and start making the change. But I'm going to tell you right now, you can't do it in your own strength because I've tried to and it doesn't work. So you can't just say, you know what, all of those things that Adriana said sounds bad. I don't want to be like that. I'm going to just be different tomorrow. That's not how it works. You open your phone, you see someone just promoted, you see someone just hit like 30,000 followers, the mind starts going. You know what I mean? All in all, none of that matters. None of that equals success in this business or success in your life. So we need to put those things on the back burner and actually imagine if we use that same energy that we were being so envious for other people into working our business or for helping the new girl that just joined to go and get that emerald bonus that they just announced. Dude, you guys would all be in the top 50, right? If we use that same energy to actually pour into ourselves and then pour into our girls. So I just wanted to touch on that because I know it's a big thing, like whether you like to admit it or not, like one point or another, you were looking at someone else on the team and be like, why not me? Well, guess what? You might be comparing your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 100 too. So there's so many different reasons why you shouldn't compare. But at the end of the day, it's not from God. So I would try to get rid of that as fast as you can. I don't know if you had anything to add, Haley.
Dude, I'm like speechless right now. That was so good. That was so good. Guys, drop a 1 if you guys love that. Honestly, I feel like the only thing that I would say is I started to lead the last year of my life saying, God, if it's not in your will, I don't want it. And whatever I want, if it doesn't align with you, take the desire away because I only want what you have for my life. And the thing is, if God wants you to have it, that blessing, that miracle will forever have your name stamped on it forever. Like it may not look like Adriana or me, like whatever that is, like, but at the end of the day, like if it's in God's will for you to promote to diamond, the journey might not look like us, but you will get it. And at the end of the day, he's such a good father and he knows the desires of your heart and he knows what you want. And he takes that into account, into a loving account. And at the end of the day, he's going to make it in the best way possible for you to get your heart's desires. But again, I always say, Lord, if it's not in your will, I don't want it. I'm going to use this house. Every single morning, Adriana and I talked about it, prayed about it. God, literally, I say, if you don't want me to be in this house, take the desire away. Just remove it away then. But I kept feeling like I could do it. We could be in it like every day. But I would be like, you know what? If we don't, it's okay. I will be okay. But at the end of the day, I just want your will to be done here on earth as it is in heaven. And I would say that. So I just want you guys to know there's nothing that you can or cannot do to change the course of your life because God has had it planned since before he formed you in the womb. He's known you. Like Adriana said, like you're talking to your father, he's known you since before you were born. So I think the best thing to do is just to say, God, whatever your will is, let it be done here on earth as it is in heaven. And let it be done in my life, in my marriage, my business. I want your will, not mine. So if there's anything there that is maybe being replaced by envy or jealousy or comparison, literally, I always ask him, just fine tune it, right? Just literally just brush it off my shoulders or like it's dirt, like just like clean me, wash me clean. So I think that's the best thing that you can do going forward. If you feel like there's things taking over you and you don't even know if you want it or not, ask God what he wants for your life. Ask him to show you. And you're going to find that the desires are just going to line up perfectly. But that was the only thing I wanted to add. I thought everything she said was amazing.
I wanted to add one more
Yeah.
thing. Just I saw Brittany and Cassie say something that I forgot to touch on. What Cassie said was you're chasing after something that will actually never satisfy you. And I think that's so true. No matter what you're chasing in this world, if it's not Jesus, it's actually not going to satisfy you. So you're basically just on this hamster wheel of trying to get something that ultimately, when you do get it, let's say it was Presidential Diamond, you do get it, you got $100,000 bonus, you got presidential, you did all the things. You're going to feel just as empty as you did the day before because those things don't satisfy you. So you're at the end of the day, you're chasing something empty. So you're putting all your will and your might and your energy and your comparison, all this to something that is going to leave you empty anyways. And then what Brittany said was, you never know what people are going through. Do not compare. Do not wish you had their life. I'm going to tell you right here, right now, the moments in my life where my Instagram looked like I was having the most fun were probably the worst years of my life. And no one would have ever known it. And so if there's other people wishing that they had be in my position, maybe if they actually got like a peephole in, they'd be like, ooh, never mind. That don't look so good. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like those two things are really important to know, that your journey is your journey. God is taking you on your own specific journey. He knows what you can handle. He knows the purpose and ministry of your life. And that's why you go through everything that you go through. Everything has a purpose, whether it's good or bad, there's a purpose, and it's for you and for your life and how you're going to help other people in the future. So that's another point of not to compare. And I just wanted to add that in because I thought those were good and I never said that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm like speechless right now. I mean, you guys, this is absolutely incredible. And this leads me into my last question, because what you guys just said just reminded me of this. And I have gone through this recently, so I can relate to this question 1,000%, because I've been telling everyone I'm going double diamond for the last half a year, almost a year. But I know that in God's timing, it will happen. And so this is for those of you who have been trying to promote and maybe it hasn't happened yet. How do you keep a positive mindset after missing a promotion?
You want me to go, Haley, or you?
Either one. You can go first if you want, babe. You can go.
I would say get used to it because it's going to happen. Whether it's one rank or another, you're not going to hit every single rank that you want to hit when you want to hit it. If that were true, I would have been ambassador like 4 years ago. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. Especially when you get to the higher ranks. Like if you're going to say, I'm going to hit it next month, it's probably not going to happen if you're going from diamond to ambassador. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's no shame in that. I think that the most important thing that you can do is, if you want it, don't stop going after it. Like, be consistent. Tell people you're going double diamond every single month. You want to know why? Raven's like, I'm going double. I'm going double. She puts in the work. She puts in the work. She puts in the work. All of that work has snowballed now. And all of that prophecy has snowballed that she's speaking over herself and over her life. And guess what? Next month, she will be double diamond. And we declare that with our mouth, and we prophesy it, and we work towards it until we get it. That's how life works. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, get used to it is what I would say. Yeah, like keep prophesying, keep working. The only way that you should feel bad about it is if you say, I'm going to do it, and then you just sit on the couch and eat like Cheez-Its. Like, okay, then you could feel bad about it. But like, if you're working and you're prophesying and you're helping your team, there's no shame in that. You're eventually going to hit it. You're going to hit it. Like, you have to have that belief in yourself too. Like, I'm going to do it. I don't know how. I don't know how God's going to do it. I don't know what girls are going to come to my team. I don't know how this video is going to blow up, but I know that God's going to do it. And I know that my team is going double diamond. And that's the kind of attitude that you have to have. And that is what's going to bring you to your next rank.
So good. I think the one thing that comes to mind is how many times I didn't hit a rank, kind of like what Adriana was saying, like it's so inevitable. My biggest piece of advice would be to stop playing out the failed scenarios in your head of what could have happened, but didn't happen. And I think we all do this. Like, I was even thinking this at the end of last month. I'm like, oh my gosh, if I would have just pushed a little bit harder, one more day, another day, I would have hit this goal I had, or I would have hit that goal. Right. Or literally, like, if this girl would have joined me one day earlier, she could have had an extra day and finished her 4-in-1. Like, drop a 2 if you've ever done that, where you've played out failed scenarios in your head. Like, if I would have just done this differently, I could have hit that, or I could have, you know what I'm saying? I could have gotten the bonus, or I could have done this. I'm here to tell you, if God would have wanted it to happen your way, it would have. That's it. If he wanted it to happen your way, it would have. So the best thing that you can do is let go of the failed scenario that is fake. That was something you thought it was going to go that way. That was what you thought was best for you. But I'm here to tell you, you're not the author of your life. You're not the author of your life. Tara wore a sweatshirt to our conference and she said, stop stealing the pen from the author of your life. And that spoke so much volume to me because I was like, you know what? She's right. She's so right. I will sometimes be like, no, God, this is what I know it's best. I would love for him to be like, Haley, really? Really? That was what was best for you? But I got something so much better for you next month. And you know what? It's going to be a bigger bonus and you're going to have girls that go farther. Why would you focus on what you think you missed out on when I have something so much greater for you? And that's the thing. You are literally letting that past thing of what you thought was best for you block you from a beautiful new beginning that God has for you. A beautiful new miracle, blessing that he has with your name on it. So why would you hold back on that? And that's what the book, The Prayer of Jabez, talks about too. Like he was so focused on so many other things that he stopped asking God for what he wanted. And he's just started to just expect things to happen. And when they didn't go his way, God was like, look at all the blessings that you could have had, but you never asked and you didn't trust me. You didn't trust me and you didn't ask. And those are the biggest things I think you're getting from this Zoom is to have faith and to actually increase your relationship with the Lord, increase your communication with him. Because just like Adriana said, like, talk to him like he's your father. And for me, it's like, that was really hard for me in the beginning because I didn't really have a dad growing up. So that was hard for me. And so what I heard even that she told me was, he's your best friend. Talk to him like he's your best friend. And that spoke volumes to me because I was like, you know what? Yeah, I should just let it all out. I should just tell him how I'm feeling. I should tell him what I want, what I envision for my life, where I want my marriage to be, where I want my friendships to be, all these things. And you notice he's a good listener. He's a really good listener. And you're going to start to see him working in your life little by little. And again, it might not be on your timing. It might not be the way that you wanted. But at the end of the day, it's the best. You are not the best author for your life. You have someone who is working behind the scenes, working every single scenario, conversation, Zoom meeting. There was a reason, y'all, that we jumped on late. We got crisscrossed. I don't know what happened, but I'm like, okay, God, whatever you're doing, just help us get off of Zoom because we just want to speak. We just want to talk to you guys. So at the end of the day, like, we don't know why God does what he does, but it's so much better than what we imagine. So I think that once you realize who he is, you can start to trust him a little bit more with every day, every moment, every hour, every situation, every failed scenario, and be able to quickly surrender those and be like, you know what, didn't go to the way that I wanted, but that's okay because you have something so much better. And I know that's not easy, right? I know that's not easy, but I'm here to tell you there is so much relief and peace in letting go and releasing control, because you were never meant to control it in the first place. So I think the best thing that you can do is surrender your plans and be like, God, I'm just going to put in the work. I'm going to let you do what you do best. And I'm going to let you handle this. I'm going to let you take over. I'm going to let you be in control because you are the best one for it. And I'm going to step off whatever you're trying to do. And I'm going to stop putting my hands in it. And I'm going to let you put your hands in it because his hands bless beyond anything that we could ever imagine for ourselves. So I think it's just good that when you realize like you grow closer to him, you're going to grow that trust and it's going to be easier to let go. And you're going to start letting go a lot quicker. But I think just get those failed scenarios out of your head. That's your past. That doesn't have anything to do with you. And again, if he wanted it to go that way, it would have. So just trust that he's got something better for you this month. He's got promotions for you, bonuses for you, for your team. Guys, he could have a girl, you know, Adriana tells me this all the time. She goes, dude, you could get a diamond to join your team tomorrow. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's so exciting. Like I could, yeah. Like, and then your fire is back. You're like, all right, I want to go enroll a distributor. I don't know about y'all, but let's go enroll some diamonds. You know what I'm saying? So I think, again, just coming back to the point of just releasing control and just trusting the author. I love that Tara had that sweatshirt. I need that sweatshirt. That's so good.
So cute. Okay, can we drop all the flames, all the hearts? Like, this was absolutely incredible. I don't know about you guys, but I needed this. And I'm so thankful that you guys took time out of your day to spend with us and just
Wait,
pour
Raven,
into
I got
us.
one more thing. I got one more thing.
Okay, good. Yes, yes, yes.
Sorry, I know this wasn't part of the plan.
Come
But
on in.
I was brainstorming with Haley before we started this, and I came up with 4 reasons why your business isn't growing. So if you guys have a pen, a paper, your notes, I want y'all to write this down. Number 1 is distractions. So that's the first one. I'm going to go through all of them first, and then I'll give a little explanation to them. Number 2 is unbelief. Number 3 is mindset. And then number 4 is no action / minimal action. So these are the 4 reasons why you're either in a halt or you're not going anywhere, or you're running in circles with your head cut off like a chicken. Anyways, so distractions, time management and priority. So are you giving priority to this business, or are you giving priority to TikTok and your boyfriend and going out with your friends and scrolling? Priority. You need to make it a priority if you want it to pay you like a full-time income, and if you want it to treat you like you're the priority, right? So get your priorities in order, make a list, figure out what's important to you. For me, it goes God, my family, and then my business. So in that order. And so I work and I live my life in according to that order. So I put God first. I obviously am there for my family, and I am there for my business and my people and the people that I love. And I make sure that I manage my time according to that. So number 2 is unbelief. If you don't truly believe, you're actually not going to go anywhere in this business. You need to believe in yourself. You need to believe in your girls. You need to believe in the business model. You need to believe in your training. You need to believe in the products. There's a lot of things that you have to believe in for this to work for you. And if you don't have belief, I would say borrowed belief. I borrow belief from my sister. I borrow belief from Haley. I borrow belief with people that have paved the way before me. And so when I borrow that, then I can eventually replace it with my own belief and see that this is true, and I do believe in this, and I do believe this works, and now I can have pour belief into my girls, into my friends, into my family. And you have to believe that you're qualified, because if you are like, yes, this is great, the business is great, the products are great, the girls are great, but like I'm unqualified. None of us here are qualified to be making the money that we are able to earn in this business. Not Cassie, not me, not Haley, not any of us. So take that out of your mind. Also too, like once you begin and you actually start like moving your feet, you're actually going to make yourself qualified, and God is going to make you qualified to work this business by growing in your faith and growing as a leader. I was not a leader when I first joined this business. I didn't even know what self-development was. Okay, so number 3 was mindset. And so we just went over all of that. So I don't think I need to go over that. And then the last one is no action or minimal action. A lot of people that are lifers or have been in here for months or years want to be diamond and double diamond, but they don't work. So it's like they want a $5,000, $10,000 paycheck, but they're putting in Ruby effort. So it's like 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, right? So that goes back to self-awareness and just like being aware of what action you're actually putting in. And then for the newbies, I would say, okay, it's day 1, a week has gone by, you haven't done anything, and you're wondering why you don't get a paycheck. Well, maybe because you're not talking to your leader, maybe you're not getting on Zoom with your leader, and you're not learning how the ins and outs of how to actually work this business and start like moving your feet forward a little bit, right? So I think all of that is important, because a lot of times, because what we do is on social media, a lot of people like, oh, I posted, like, and then you're not working behind the scenes. Like 90% of the income that we make is the behind the scenes work. I think Nay is like one of the best examples of this, because she's not like super active like most people, but like we all know that she is following up. Like we all know that she's on Zoom with her team. Like we all know that she's doing the things. So obviously we want to have all of it together. But what I am saying is that 90% of it is what you do on your own time. So I told you guys to write that down so you could self-reflect on it, be more aware of it, and then make the changes. And I know that you guys all could do it. So I just wanted to put it.
Well, thank you for stopping me because that was amazing. And definitely, we all needed to hear that. I am so thankful for you guys. Thankful that you spent the evening with us. Is there anything else, last minute things that you guys want to share with us? I mean, this Zoom was absolutely incredible. And I know every single girl on here is going to leave fired up and ready to rock and roll and just crush this month. So I'm really excited to see all the promotions and everything that happens.
Honestly, I just wanted to say thank you for having us on. I don't know. I feel like when it comes to this business, I think we tend to overthink and we overcomplicate. And I think just going back to those 4 things that Adriana said, like always come back to those things if you ever feel like you're in a rut or you feel like you're stopped. And also just want you to know like you're not alone. Because a lot of girls, I'm sure, feel the same way that you do. I know that I did and I still do. And at the end of the day, I think the best thing you could do is not to just sit in your thoughts and sit in your feelings. The best thing is go to God. And then, like Adriana said, go to your people. And there's always somebody that's willing to help you. I'm really grateful that I always had someone that I've been able to go to. And I'm here to tell you, you have plenty of those people. So just wanted to say that to end it.
Yeah. And then the only other thing that I wanted to say too is I truly believe, and you can borrow my belief if you don't believe it, but I truly believe every single person that's on this Zoom right now, it says 35 participants. I believe every single person that is listening to this right now, I believe that God called you to this business. And I believe that He has you here for a reason. And whether you're brand new, whether you're an OG and you stepped away, whether you're someone who's been here for a while and you're just not really moving your feet, I believe that God is calling you here or calling you back. And I think that this now more than ever, people need, and we all need. And listen, I've seen what they're doing out there at the 9 to 5s. It ain't cute. And I don't want to go back there. The people are negative, like the money isn't good. You see what I'm saying? I'm not shading that. I'm just saying, like, look at what we have our hands on. Like, we have the ability, we have the opportunity, we have the actual like ability to earn money where look, you can go to a 9 to 5 job now that is considered a really great job and work your booty off and they're not going to give you a raise. Do you see what I'm saying? So even besides that, I think that the Lord has called you here. You're here for a reason. If you're on this Zoom, don't just be like, oh, I'm just on the Zoom, but none of that was for me. It was for you. If you felt like that was great, but it wasn't for you, I'm here to tell you that it was. And that you just need to borrow some belief and just know that you are meant to be here, whether your camera's on, camera's off, whether you're Ruby, whether you're Diamond, whether you're new, whether you've been in for 5 years, like you're meant to be here. I think God's just waiting on you to move, to put your all in. If you've never been all in, be all in and you'll see what happens. That's it.
Literal chills. Thank you guys so much. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening and let's go crush the rest of the night. Bye, guys.
Bye.